Hi Sag, welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to be doing another current energy reading, but this is more so future focused, your near future, what's coming up for you. All right, I did pull some cards already, so we're going to talk about what came out for you, and then I want to do things a little bit different today. I want to clarify four of these cards card by card and just see what this is really talking about, go deeper into the messages that have already came out for you. And yeah, all right. So let me show you what is out so far. Again, I feel like this came out in yesterday's reading for you. You have coin toss here. Okay. So choices, there's a big choice that you need to make. I feel like your heart already knows what choice you want to make, but you may have not, taken action towards that choice. Okay. It's more than just acceptance, it's more than what's in your heart or what your intention is. I feel like there has to be like a leap of faith or taking action towards whatever this choice is. Right now, you could be considering the pros and cons of each choice that could be in front of you and trying to weigh your options. Okay. Something feels very unpredictable. So it's not like you really know what the outcome is going to be. And maybe that's why you've been a little hesitant for some time. But we're going to talk about it because if you are not able to decide, I feel very strongly by this reading, you will have more insight to make your decision because this is up to you. Okay. It's personal to you. We have mirror. All right. I do feel like, Sag, you are shedding some type of old identities. You do not feel like this person that you used to be. You could feel so far removed from that identity. And there are a lot of themes right now of you, again, shedding your old skin, stepping into a new identity. But there's this question about what's the identity? Maybe that's the decision that you need to make. Okay. What identity am I claiming? What identity am I moving into? What does that mean for my routine every day? What does that mean for my lifestyle? What does that mean for my connections? What does that mean for what I'm meant to do, my life purpose? What does that mean for the type of job or industry I'm supposed to be in? So it's really a big decision. And this card talks about being more self aware. So maybe certain things that you didn't recognize about yourself as you're maturing and growing, maybe through the challenges that this year has brought, it's bringing on a new identity. You no longer relate to who you used to be, and you're still searching to figure out what exactly is this new identity? What box can I put it in? What category is this? What's the vibe? Okay. Definitely could be facing some issues regarding self identity, first house type of energy here. Let me talk about that first house energy too. Okay. Let me pull up some messages here that I have in my phone because we're going to get deep today. We're going to get really deep with this reading. All right. So, first house, it is the house of your identity, your personality, your ego, your self image. Also, it's the house of new beginnings, fresh starts. So, I do feel like you are going on some type of new beginning right now. Things are really fresh. You have closed out some old chapter and now you're moving into something new. Okay. So, it's very new for you. Everything that's happening or is going to happen for the rest of this year feels new, like very innocent. I've never experienced this before. It's your consciousness, it's your appearance, okay? And also your temperament. So I feel like there could be some issues right now regarding that, trying to step into the unknown of like, who am I becoming? All right. What else do I want to say about that? Is there anything else I want to say? Yeah, okay. First house is the body. It's your first impressions, your attitude, your identity, and your approach to life. Okay. So there could be some issues regarding that you're trying to see through, but it's a little bit of a challenge right now for you. All right, let's continue. So, yes, you could be on this journey of self assessment, trying to figure yourself out. You could be making a lot of comparisons right now, you versus others, okay? It could be a little uncomfortable. You could be going through a journey of self improvement, having a lot of reflections as well, okay? And really trying to get into your self love bag, all right? Now, you also have yacht here, which is really cool. So, a lot of these new experiences involve the energy of yacht, okay? And this talks about taking more adventures affluence, luxury, mobility, okay, having movement in your life, traveling, a lot of trips or travels coming up for you, vacation. Feeling like you're at great ease, smooth sailing, so not having to deal with the bumps in the road anymore. Things are about to really take full force for you. Moving into a more sophisticated era, going with the wind, self indulgence, prioritizing yourself, which is good, prosperity, comfort, wealth, over the top, and extravagance. Okay, so that seems really exciting. Those are some of the things that you're going to be able to indulge in the rest of the year. All right, but first, the first step is identity. Okay, that's kind of like the precursor to this great lifestyle that you're about to lead on. And last card you have here for your themes, we have hot air balloon. Drifting away, okay? All right, so you have balance here that's coming up, uplifting energy, freedom, feeling free from maybe a restriction, limitation, or situation. Going with the flow, rising above. Also, not resisting, okay? Not resisting change, being very adaptable to what's to come, having a new perspective, new mindset, feeling untouchable, okay? You have a lot of luck that's following you. You could be defying gravity. You have continuous flow, ascension. A lot of you guys are going through ascension. You're going to have a different point of view. You're elevating and you're going to be feeling really good. But right now, it's about this choice that's going on. It's very interesting. Some other cards that came out for you. First one we have here is Neptune in the first house, okay? And it's also Aries energy. And this talks about you being unsure of your personal identity. Ooh, and it's about to rain thunder. Okay, I don't know if that's like a sign. All right, but unsure of your personal identity. And again, I think that's why this mirror card came out and that first house energy is coming out. Okay, so you could be someone who's very artistic. You could have in your life taken on the identity of other people. Okay, for example, as a child, maybe took on the identity of an older sibling or maybe your parents, you know, as you went through school, maybe you took on the identity of your best friends. Maybe as you became like a young adult, you took on the identity again, maybe of your parents or someone that you work with, a boss. But now is time for you to figure out, you know, what is my identity? Okay. So there's energy of you taking on the identity of others. And I feel like you're so done with that. That's it, just kind of disgusts you now. You want what's your own. Okay. You may get tired of people and maybe the pressures or expectations that are not yours to carry. It talks about you being suspicious right now. You may feel like you don't know who you are, okay? You may also feel like your objectives in life are very unclear. Your goals in life can be a little unclear because it's like, does it align to my true identity, myself, okay? You are going to be having a very peaceful period in your life. You're very dreamy. You may lack boundaries. You may have poor boundaries for yourself, okay? And you could also just be letting life happen, letting life ramble aimlessly, but I feel like that's about to change for you. It says people take advantage of your hesitancy to assert your will, triggering an aggressiveness with boundaries you often feel are crossed when that wasn't their intention. Okay, so that's your first card here. Unsure of your personal identity. All right. We also have supreme optimism, which is really nice because I can remember a time doing readings for Sag that you weren't feeling very optimistic. You could have been going through a very pessimistic time. You could have been going through a lot of trials and challenges, crises that kind of left you unhopeful. But now that's returning and it's exuberant with that Jupiter energy. This is Jupiter in the 12th house of Pisces. Supreme optimism. You should be feeling more confident. Okay. You have this energy of self-sacrifice, but it is in the will to get your biggest goals or to get your biggest desires. So you may have to sacrifice something in your life that could feel very hard, but you see a bigger picture of why you need to sacrifice right now to be able to get that, okay? That could be a living situation. Maybe you're not happy in your living situation. Maybe you have to work a job that you feel like is a dead end, but you're just doing it right now to maybe raise capital. Maybe you had to give up a certain friendship or a relationship because you felt like you were bigger than this, okay? So something you've been sacrificing that's going to pay off, all right? You have a very generous spirit or nature. Obstacles should be dissolving right before your eyes at this time. Things that used to seem like a big deal or a big challenge are kind of fading away, which is really nice. Things are going to be more in ease, okay? And I think you had that here too. Great ease for the yacht card. All right, so that's coming towards you very soon. You are a big dreamer. You have many miracles playing out at once, okay? Really good fortune. You're intuitive and relaxed. You work hard and you can't hide secrets, all right? And it says inspiration for great achievement comes from taking time to connect to source, to God. You are likely to make a great sacrifice to make your dreams come true, okay? So, yeah, definitely sacrifice something that could have meant a lot to you, but this is what's needed to be able to get that bigger goal. And this is the most interesting card I feel like is before us, okay? You're unsure of your identity. You're mirroring right now. You're reflecting. You're trying to figure out what your identity is. We have heritage here. Very important, okay? This is Sun in the fourth house of Cancer. Heritage, maybe you don't know who you are because you have not really research or dive deep into your heritage. Maybe there is something about tradition that's coming up for you. Maybe you're going to be, revisiting past life things, your ancestry, your roots. Okay. So part of this adventure that you're about to go on, yes, it's going to be a lot of fun. Yes, you could be going on trips and traveling the world. You could be exploring new passions, hobbies, or interests. But a big part of that and part of your life purpose right now in the season, Sag, for the collective of Saggies is revisiting their heritage to find out who the hell they are. Okay. You could be highly protective of your private life and your family. You could come off a little defensive at times. You are building a secure foundation. You could also be getting into real estate. Real estate could be an industry that's very lucrative for you in this lifetime. You have a traditional home identity. You have a legacy to build. You have a pride or this proudness of your ancestry, or you should be, or maybe once you discover that, you'll feel very proud from where you came from. And there's patriotism about you, okay? So, whatever that means for you. You are establishing a secure home situation for yourself and your loved ones and it's also very important for you. You are strongly connected to your home, property, and heritage. Okay. So I feel like part of this adventure that you're about to go on is taking you back home. And I see that as well because we have visit here. Okay. And visit talks about changes in your situation, new events, and meeting people. All right. And then you also have home or house. And this talks about your family, everyday life, inner world, and returning home. All right, so let's go ahead and go one by one. These four cards that we talked about: coin toss, mirror, yacht, hot air balloon. Let's clarify these cards and see what's coming up for you very soon. And also any insight that we can give to help you really come back home, figure out what this identity is. You haven't been feeling like yourself, is because you are coming back to self. So let's talk about coin toss. I feel like this is the most important card to clarify. A big choice or decision that you should be making very soon that's going to propel you to this really beautiful era that you're stepping into. All right, what does Sag need to know about coin toss? Clarify coin toss here. Clarify coin toss. This decision. Hmm. Clarify coin toss. Okay. Alrighty, so we have some messages here. First and foremost, on the bottom of the deck, we have the devil. Okay, so whatever this decision is surrounding some type of toxic situation, maybe a toxic connection, maybe a toxic environment, okay, maybe a toxic influence around you. Also, with the devil, this feels like a lack of boundaries. So it could be a situation where boundaries do not exist, no matter how much you try to enforce them, no matter how many rules you try to lay out. It feels like your boundaries are being crossed. This could be a work situation for some of you. This could be a family situation for some of you. Again, this could be a living situation. Maybe you have a landlord or community property manager that has a lack of boundaries, and it's really disturbing your peace in some way. Okay, it feels like you're trying to be very practical about this situation with the Knight of Pentacles here. And it feels like you also could be trying to save up or preserve yourself to until you feel like you can make the right move. This could be like someone saving their money, trying to make sure that they have the right amount of finances to be able to leave a situation. This could be like self-preservation, trying to wait till the right moment. All right, this deck is very interesting because you see the Grim Reaper is here. The Grim Reaper is even like losing their clothes. They're tired of waiting on you to make a decision, okay? And also with that Knight of Pentacles, slow to come to a decision that you already know you need to walk away from. It's like you want to have all your ducks in a row before you do something, but again, I feel like that's not how this is meant to work out. It's meant for you to make a decision right now. Okay. Three of Swords. You've been really disappointed this month of July in this situation. This is not the first time you've been disappointed. Okay. Sometimes I see the Three of Swords as obviously pain, but it feels like it's not as hurtful. And sometimes that's because maybe what happened, may not be as hurtful to someone. Maybe someone is a little bit more withstanding, but this also could be like, I've already been there, done that. This has already happened. So you kind of like grow some resistance to it. All right. For example, if someone finds out that their boyfriend, girlfriend is cheating on them, the first time may feel like the Ten of Swords, right? But if this happens repetitively, maybe it's just a Three of Swords, and it could be easily worked out with that Three of Swords because they're used to it. It doesn't hurt as badly. So I feel like you were disappointed in July in this situation, and it doesn't hurt as much because you're kind of used to, you almost like brace yourself for it. You know that you're going to be hurt, okay? You know that the situation is toxic. You know to brace yourself around this devil energy. You know that boundaries are going to be crossed, that you're going to be disappointed, let down, heartbroken. You already know it, okay? And there's something urging you to walk away, right? Also here too, you have the Queen of Cups, okay? So something is making you very sensitive. I don't know why I'm getting that sensitive to the touch, okay? So I don't know what that's about, but something is getting you in a very sensitive place. I feel like your emotions, you may not be able to hide them anymore, okay? Versus being the King of Cups is someone who can kind of emotionally regulate, and even if they feel sad, they're not going to cry. But this is someone who has shed tears, or this is someone who's highly sensitive, highly emotional about the situation, is doing a number on you emotionally, all right? I want to clarify that card for you. Let's see. How about the Queen of Cups? All right, we have Emperor. So I feel like you have been really trying to control your emotions, your feelings. Something is also urging you to boss up in this situation. Do whatever you need to do, take responsibility, take accountability for what you are still withstanding. And I also see a very serious energy to it. It feels like you are emotional about this, but on the outside, you do try to save face, or you try to be very serious about the situation versus showing your emotions. There is a very deep emotions here, and there's sadness because we have the moon. Okay, there's sadness. There's lots of confusion as well. Okay, like trying to know what the outcome is. Even when it comes to leaving this situation, you're confused. It's unpredictable. You don't really know, or you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel just yet. Okay, There's also some insecurity surrounding maybe leaving this situation. Maybe you feel like, again, with that Four of Pentacles, you don't have everything that you need to be secure to leave. All right. And yeah, with that moon, it's like you're not getting a lot of insight to make this decision. I feel like the only insight that you need is that it's there's a lack of boundaries and that it's not getting better, that you keep bracing yourself for disappointment. I see that you could be working really hard behind the scenes to get something together, get something. It's almost like Eight of Pentacles is perfectionist. So you almost want like the perfect out, the perfect route. You want things to have the perfect outcome. Perfection doesn't exist. Okay, so that's something as well. And I feel like you're working really hard maybe to save your money, have all your ducks in a row to make sure that this transition can be perfect for you. But again, perfection doesn't exist. So it's a very confusing situation. It also, you don't know what your outcome is going to be. It really does depress you, Sag, is what I'm seeing with the moon and the Queen of Cups. You are trying to hold it together with the Emperor. All right. You have here changing. Okay. So at this time, the situation is in a state of flux. Anything could happen. Something is changing, maybe even against your will. Okay. We have corset, which we talked about yesterday. And this is the energy of trying to hold things together. This is the energy of boundaries, trying to do things maybe in a perfect way, perfection with corset, right? Um, there we go. Perfect. So I feel like you're trying to hold things together, but it's becoming out of control. And you're being prompted to make a decision to walk away. Tell me about this decision that Sag needs to make. All right, we have the Seven of Cups. You have been thinking about a lot of ways that this could go. You may feel like you have a lot of options, okay? You like say this is a work situation, you're thinking of, okay, maybe that boss who's very toxic will end up switching departments. They said that they're supposed to be relocating to another location soon. Or maybe I can find another position within the company that will get me out of this apartment so I'm not under their, I'm not under their authority. Okay, but maybe too, I could go to HR and maybe try to get that kinked out and just go talk to HR about it. So it's like you could be also like having, sometimes the Seven of Cups is like you have all these options, but you're not taking action on one. So that could be delaying the progress of the situation. Sometimes Seven of Cups also is like fantasy. Okay, so you think that you can handle a situation by trying to stick with it and maybe trying to move through it in a way of perfection or however you're trying to do here. But it could be some type of optical illusion. It doesn't exist. The situation does not get better. Okay. The situation does not get better. It's a trap. All right. So I don't know. Why are you so afraid to move away from this situation? What scares you? What is Sagi's fear? All right, Two of Wands. You fear maybe that the grass won't be greener on the other side, okay, with the Two of Wands. You fear that. You also fear that, your outcome won't align with your intentions, okay? Because Two of Wands is like, I have an intention to maybe relocate, get out of the situation, and I want my outcome to match that. If I'm leaving to be happier, I want a happy outcome. If I'm leaving to elevate, I want to have elevation. So there's this fear that things are not going to be better than where you are, and maybe you should just deal with it. Okay. Okay. So that's the coin toss. There's just maybe you just needed that to be explained a little bit more. Let's talk about mirror, okay? Because this is deeply tied to your identity. Maybe being able to explore your identity without being controlled, okay? Tell me about mirror for Sag. All right, we have the Seven of Pentacles here. Oops. Five of Cups. Queen of Wands, okay, that really wanted to come out for you is the Queen of Wands energy. You have the Nine of Swords and also the Sun. Okay, part of this new identity involves a lot of spotlight. Okay, it involves a lot of spotlight, and that could be a look at the spotlight off of the Sun card. Look at that. All right, so this energy involves a lot of spotlight, a lot of visibility, a lot of exposure. That could scare you if you're used to laying low or being behind the scenes, okay, that could scare you. Sun is also authenticity, okay? So if you are a very private person, having more spotlight on you, people seeing you authentically for who you are, not just what they think you are, that can be a little scary as well. All right, so you are stepping more into the spotlight here with the Sun. You are getting a lot of exposure or visibility. People are going to start to see you a little bit deeper than what you have allowed in the past. And there's a lot of fear surrounding that with the Nine of Swords, okay? All right. I feel like this identity is not something that you're just waking up overnight and just realizing about yourself. This new sense of identity has been built and nurtured over time. So this was kind of like going to be the outcome nonetheless, okay? Because you have been building this throughout the years. You've been building this throughout time, okay? Maybe even since you were younger. And you've been nurturing this, nurturing your growth, nurturing your maturity. It's like with that Seven of Pentacles, you weren't quite ready to step into this identity in the past, but now, your fruits have been bared and now it's time to partake and really step into it, okay? How do you feel about that? You should feel very proud of what you have built. There should be great self-love here of all the time that you've dedicated. You didn't rush this. You really took time to figure this out. All right, tell me about the Seven of Pentacles. The Chariot. Okay, so you should feel very accomplished with the Chariot being here. There's an energy of momentum and movement. Maybe you're stepping into this identity at the right time when you finally have momentum, forward movement, and progress in your life. This is also deeply tied to your career. Okay, so your identity also could tie into who you are in your career, what you do for work, even if that involves your life purpose. All right. It also shows like you're more in control of your own narrative or more in control of yourself. You have self control with the Chariot being here as well. Mm. There's like, I don't know why I'm getting this, but there's something you're realizing about how your personality has changed. And it has something to do when you're like sitting in traffic. Maybe it's your temperament. Maybe you're someone who usually rage during like morning traffic, but there's something very calm and relaxed about your attitude. And that is something that shows you, I don't know why that's so random, right? But that's like something that shows you've changed so much. You're not the same anxious person you used to be. You're not the, quick tempered person that you used to be, impulsive person that you used to be. There's a very calm, relaxed energy. Um, you're not cutting through traffic. You're not driving with rage. There's something that you're noticing about how much you've changed because of who you used to be in traffic or when you drove was totally different. So there's something about that or something tied to a car that also, if you're purchasing a car, maybe in the past you would purchase something a little bit more expensive that would eat up the bank. And now you're a little bit more practical or grounded. Okay. And that also shows you your growth or your maturity in some way. All right. So, this identity that you're stepping into, you definitely built over time. All right. Now, we do have the Five of Cups here. You've had a lot of sacrifices to move towards this um, destiny or this identity that you're moving in. You've lost a lot of people, you lost a lot of things. Okay. Five of Cups. Think about the Five of Cups energy. All right, Queen of Swords as well. Something has taught you a lot about relationships, connections here. I feel like you are learning. You could be very generous in nature, Sag, like the cards say, but maybe your generosity has bit you in the ass a lot of times. People don't appreciate that. You have taken a lot of losses from being a very generous person. Part of your identity now is being more discerning. with the Queen of Swords, okay? You're not cold or detached, you're receptive, but you're also, you take your time. You think before you act or before you trust, okay? You definitely have a level of discernment here from a lot of pain that you went through in the past. And with the Nine of Cups, definitely more self indulgent, which just means that you prioritize yourself. You are now wanting to put your needs and your wants over other people because that's what other people do. So why are you not doing it, right? And I feel like this allows you to win more in life. Okay, especially with the Nine of Cups, it makes you a happier Sag. Nine of Cups is about emotional fulfillment. So, feeling happy at the end of the day after you deal with people, if you're out there dating, if you're meeting new friends at work, okay, you have more wins, more trophies because you are prioritizing yourself. You're not seeing it as a bad thing, maybe how you used to. And the last card you have here is the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is very beautiful, okay, because it also shows that you're not trying too hard, but you easily bedazzle the crowd or the audience. You know, Nine of Wands is a very sexy person. This person could also be very fit or fit minded, whatever that means for you. This is someone who's active, has a lot of accolades because they are motivated, they're optimistic, but there's also someone who doesn't chase. They don't chase, they attract. Okay. So that also is part of your identity as well. Manifestation could be a big part of this new identity, how you're able to attract this new reality that you're stepping into with the yacht being here, that we'll be talking about in just a second. Clarify the Queen of Wands. All right. Again, a lot of your identity stems from pain. You know, a lot of these changes that you have made have taught you to wisen up from being, you know, hurt, disappointed, and also from being played. You've been played sometimes when you've had a heart of gold, when you've been very genuine, you've been used, abused, played, you know? And so this is just kind of like the strong character that you had to build over time to be able to move past these things. You know, even the Chariot talks about how you're able to move past obstacles or disappointments much easier than what you were able to in the past. So if you were stuck in the Five of Cups for a long time in the past, there's an energy of you not doing that anymore. You don't have to ruminate in disappointment. You don't have to overthink why someone did what they did. You chuck it up to people being humans, knowing that they make mistakes and moving on with your life, okay? So there's a lot of discernment here. There's a lot of wisdom, maturity, and growth. There's energy of prioritization. I can't speak, okay? There's an energy of keeping up your looks, keeping up your body, being a go-getter, very optimistic, strong manifester. All right. And there's also energy of career success. You know, your career could be one of your biggest trophies in life in this lifetime or just in this period. You're taking your career very seriously and you're moving to new heights. Okay. Lots of movement and momentum. All right. Okay. What else do you want to tell me about this? Look at this, okay? Again, you have for this new identity, you're still trying to figure yourself out. All right. That's a lot of you guys right now. Also, something is deeply tied to your heritage, where you came from. Maybe those stories will relate to you in a certain way. The personalities of your past may come to you as well and also build more of your identity. But I do feel like within a few months, you will know exactly who you are and you'll be standing proudly and confidently in that identity. And it's interesting, you have Black Widow here. Okay, so you've been through things, you've been through betrayal, you've heeded the warnings, or you may have not heeded the warnings and had to learn. Okay, you have turncoat energy here. You've dealt with people who are cunning and dangerous. Toxic situations and relationships have definitely shaped who you are. You're not easily gullible. You're not easily being naive. You have better discernment here. And yeah, there's an energy of dealing with people of low vibrations that have kind of shaped you into the strength that you are now. All right. Okay. Let's talk about yacht. Let's talk about something positive. This is the energy that you're walking into. So, again, this energy is about adventure, affluence, luxury, mobility, travel, great ease, smooth sailing. You also have sophistication here. Going with the wind, self-indulgent, prosperity, comfort, wealth, over the top, and extravagance. I hope you're ready for that, okay? I hope you are ready for that. What else can you tell me for Sag about this yacht energy? All right. Give me some messages, please. Tell me about this yacht energy for my Saggies. What can they expect here? Should I use this deck? Let's use this one for yacht. Tell me about this yacht energy coming up for my Saggies. What can they expect? What's happening the rest of this year with that yacht energy? Ooh, okay. Feels like you'll be doing this with someone. All right. I see that you're putting out plans right now. You have plans, strategies to try to get some type of manifestation or goal. I feel like you are going to have the courage finally to step out and try new things. Okay. And this is going to bring to you some type of like luxury in your life. This could bring to you a lot of moments, a lot of happy moments, a lot of moments where you feel very pleased with yourself and your lifestyle. But I also see a significant person on this ride with you. So you're not doing this alone. All right. There'll be someone going on these adventures with you. We have here the Eight of Pentacles. All right, this talks about being very skillful, mastery energy. I feel like you're working really hard over the next couple of months. That's going to afford you more luxurious experiences. You could be getting rewarded by the universe because you are working so hard, nonstop. You're putting in the long hours. You are refining yourself and your skills. Okay, there's an upgrade coming because of the extent that you work. You're working really hard, you're having a lot of focus and concentration towards your goals, so things are happening very fast for you but very naturally. You also have someone that you can learn from, bouncing off ideas, okay, with the Magician, or just bouncing off skills, someone that's going to help you to complete these goals, and they'll be along for the ride with you. We have the Magician here, the card of innovation. Okay, your thoughts are going to start becoming things. Your desires are going to start becoming your reality. But with that Magician, strong manifester, as we've seen with that Queen of Wands energy, the really strong energy to attract, okay? And again, there's some type of unique bond, maybe two unlikely people, people that people don't even understand how you two even got together or started dealing with each other or got into cahoots. But there are some very big achievements between you two. There's a merriment between you and this person that will be bringing in this affluence and luxury into your life. All right, we have dynamite here. So life is about to get really, really exciting for you. All right. And also very passionate for you. I feel like you're taking action. You're no longer sitting on your goals, but actually taking a lot of action, working really hard. All right. Suspense, because things are about to get really, really good for you. Things are going to feel fantastic, energetic. Okay. You are becoming a catalyst for your change in your life. Things are about to get explosive. Firecracker energy, blast, sudden, unexpected, and fast results. We also have rings here. So again, there's a really strong connection, a union or a bond that's down for the ride. Okay, you have a partner or a counterpart here. You have lover's energy with this person. You and this person may share telepathy between each other. Okay, like-minded people, committed partner, engagement, interconnected, and soulmate. All right, let's talk about this and see what's going on. Tell me about this yacht energy with the Eight of Pentacles. Two people putting their skills together, maybe to make money. All right, or just working really hard, saving money, and going on some really extravagant trips. Tell me about the Eight of Pentacles, please. All right. All right, so we are clarifying the card of yacht, okay? And what do we have here? We have a yacht, all right? So that's very interesting. That's confirmation. Maybe you and this person will be going on a boat, a really nice boat that by the end of this year, okay? We have pleasure here, lots to enjoy. Ace of Cups, a new passionate beginning that's opening up for you. And it comes through hard work, okay? Eight of Pentacles is not hard work per se, like you're just breaking your back. Eight of Pentacles is like when you're so focused and you really enjoy what you're creating some type of masterpiece that you could spend all day and all night cooped up in your room doing this because you're really knowing that you're so close to perfecting something. All right. So this could be within your career. This could be with your income, your finances, making money fast. This also could be a skill or a hobby that could be opening new opportunities or doors for you. But I feel like you and this person are really putting a lot of investment behind this. And this is going to expand your horizons, okay? Yeah, look, it's some type of significant relationship. This is the Lover's card. You and this person are on the same wavelength and have the same mindset of wanting more in life. So there's a joint commitment to making that happen. The Lovers is such a beautiful card because it talks about someone who has your best interest at heart. So even if you guys are away, you know, they're at their house, you're at your house, you guys are both collectively doing things for the betterment of the connection. You can trust that this person will be accountable, responsible, and keep their word. And they can trust that about you. You and this person may be hitting some type of jackpot this year, okay? And you have the Nine of Pentacles, the card of luxury. There's a lot to be enjoyed. There's a lot of leisurely energy that's coming towards you two. You both could be very powerful manifestors. All right. The things that you hope about, your desires here, the things that you want to expand in your reality are coming true this year. Okay. If you hit rock bottom this year, Sag, things are taking an upturn. Okay. You have this card, hot air balloon, about defying gravity. All right. So things are taking an upturn for you. I feel like intuitively, you know that this is your year. You could feel it in your gut, okay? You're also being told to be private about your ideas and your goals. Be very private about what you're manifesting. Remember, supreme optimism. I'm so excited about what's to come in my life. I can't hide secrets. Make sure you do. You don't need to talk about anything that you are creating this year except for with this person, okay? Whoever this person is. People will see once you achieve it, okay? But do not tell people before, you know, things start to kick off. Allow people to watch the glow up. Tell me about this unique bond. Who is this person for Sag? Some of you guys haven't even met this person yet. Who is this person for Sag? Very like-minded, wants the same things in life as you. Someone who likes luxury or wants luxury in their life. Someone who could be thinking about the bigger picture, a hard worker. Okay. We have the moon. So for some of you, it's unclear. It's unclear. Some of you guys are dealing with this person and it feels unclear what the outcome is going to be. Maybe this person has been showing signs of anxiety, stress, or even depression with the moon energy. All right. We also have the Page of Wands here. So this is someone who definitely has a very curious spirit. They want to know how life gets better. Okay. And they're going to put the actions behind it to do so. Limiting beliefs is something that you and this person could overcome together as well. Seeing the Eight of Swords. All right. Someone's very protective of you, very defensive or protective of you. Someone who has your back, has your best interests at heart. Someone who's like your ride or die. Okay. It's like you and this person against the world. All right. Guys, last but not least, let's talk about this hot air balloon. All right. Again, this card talks about balance, uplifting, freedom, going with the flow, rise above, don't resist, new perspective, untouchable, defying gravity, continuous flow, ascension, view, elevate, and feeling good. How will Sag know that they are in their hot air balloon, that life is about to start being uplifted, that they are reaching ascension, they're elevating in their life? What are the signs? What are the signs that will come to Sag as they will know that they are defying gravity, that they're reaching elevation? All right, we have the Ten of Pentacles here. We also have the Queen of Swords, okay? And what other signs or synchronicities could come to Sag when they know that their life is going up, when they're about to elevate? What signs are going to be coming to them? What other signs are coming to them? All right. Hmm. Okay. First and foremost, I feel like this coin toss energy. This is a big indicator because we have optical illusion as well. There's a situation you feel like you can't get out of quick enough. Maybe you feel like you're not prepared, and that's an optical illusion. I feel like there's some changes that are going to come really, really fast at you, okay? That are going to help you get out of the situation quicker than what you were predicting for yourself. You know, whether that's like some of you guys may even get like an offer for a new job, a new position. If this is a workplace situation, there's some type of like unpredictable changes coming your way, and you had like long goals to try to stick something through, and that's going to be cut short. Okay, so that's one of the signs. Also, another sign here is the hammock, which talks about maybe finally getting a period of rest or relaxation or getting some time off. That could be very deeply relaxing for you. After you come back from this time off, you may feel like you really were rejuvenated. It felt great. And maybe you're coming back to reality and you're like, damn, I wish I could have just held on to that moment a little bit longer. Something is coming in for you. You are going to be supported in that. Okay. Also, sleep or dreams could also be sending you a lot of synchronicities and messages. If you are planning a vacation or going on one very soon, that also is a sign here. When you feel in limbo, trying to make a decision, stuck between two things, two choices, that's also a sign. We also have rubber band here. So if lately, or this could be happening soon, that you're feeling overextended, you're feeling a lot of tension, maybe even like, I don't know, I'm getting like TMJ or lockjaw or something, okay? Grinding your teeth in your sleep. When you feel like a lot of pressure, headaches, migraines, when you feel like maybe you're doing too much because you are constantly in that energy of the Eight of Pentacles, working really hard. When you feel like you have to hold it together, you've been going through strain, but you've been keeping your endurance, nothing is really like stopping your momentum with that chariot energy. When you feel like you're about to be at your breaking point, that is a sign as well, okay? Another sign here is legacy, 10 of Pentacles. When you start to think about your future, when you start to think about the big purpose that you're meant to be on earth for, when you start to think about family, future family, when you start to think about wealth a lot and it's just on your mind, when you start to think about how you're going to leave your mark, how you're going to take care of your children, your children's children, things like that, when you start to think about marriage, okay, those are all signs. Also, the Queen of Swords, okay? Queen of Swords is really getting in your bag, getting out of your emotions, okay? I see you already doing that with the Queen of Cups to the Emperor. You are trying to preserve your emotions and not let it out. And you could move into the Queen of Swords where it just really is a detachment, but you have receptivity at the same time. When you're strategizing, when you're starting to spend those late nights in your room with your notebook, drafting out a plan, doing your research, you know, for what your next steps are, that is your sign, okay? That is your sign. All right. So, guys, that's what I have for you. Let me get you some messages from your angels before we go. I'm also going to be doing extended, and I will tell you guys about that in just a second. All right. All right, Sag, I am back with your angel messages. And I have two cards for you that we're going to read about just to end off this reading. So we have the Knight of Raphael, and we also have New Beginnings. Okay. All right, so let's start off with the Knight of Raphael. This talks about someone who is romantic, dramatic, poetic, and introspective. It says committed romantic relationships, being swept off your feet, situations or topics that make your heart flutter. Okay, and I believe this to be the Knight of Cups in this deck. So let me go ahead and read that for you. All right, Knight of Raphael. It says situations, be prepared to be swept off your feet. Someone has the ability to bring deep emotions to the surface. This card often represents falling in love. It can also herald creative or artistic proposals and career opportunities, as well as situations or topics that make your heart flutter happily. People, someone who is a champion of emotion and artistic endeavors, a person who is in love with love itself and anything romantic. Poetic, dramatic, optimistic, sophisticated, and introspective. Additional meanings of this card: engagements and weddings, rose colored glasses, powerful emotions, and the need to get grounded. Okay. So that is your first card here, Knight of Raphael. Your second card is the card of New Beginnings, which is really beautiful. I believe this to be the Judgment card. And it says Archangel Jeremiah. This one says, starting a new life, finding your purpose, and a forgiving and compassionate review of the past. Okay. All right. So this one says, you are being called to renew your dedication to your life purpose. Each day of your life has led you to this moment. Now it's time to review your personal history and make changes that will take you in a different direction. Archangel Jeremiah can help you evaluate the past without harsh judgments. Take up your new destination with joy and confidence. Situations where decisions must be made will work out positively for you. Academic examinations, tests, and legal settlements have favorable outcomes. Additional meanings of this card: answering a calling, finding your purpose, starting a new life, perfect clarity, and unlimited opportunities. It says Archangel Jeremiah is the angel who helps with life reviews. If you're seeking to take stock of the past and how it might relate to your future, you can call upon Jeremiah for insight. Ask him for detailed steps you can take that lead to successful changes in your life. I feel like that hit it right on the head. So I was happy to conclude this reading with that. Guys, I'm going to be doing extended for this reading. I know this reading has been really long. That wasn't my intentions, but I'm just going with the flow. And I feel like this would be a very deep reading. My light is flickering right now. Okay. All right. But in the extended, guys, this is for those of you who do feel like there's a shift coming. So this may not be for everyone, but those of you who do feel like there's a shift coming into your life, then you can follow me to the extended. I will be answering who you've been performing as versus who you're actually becoming. So you can notice the difference. Sometimes, we can't really notice what has changed about us. So I'm going to put it in plain sight for you. We're also going to talk about what opens up for you the moment that you make this important decision that could be weighing heavily on you. We're going to talk about as well what your elevation era will look like or what it will include for you this year, and also how aligned your partner is in this chapter. Whether you know who this person is or you don't, I'm going to talk all about that, and also seeing how aligned they are, because it feels like you're not doing this alone. Feels like you're stepping into this with someone who is very important, very significant, and has the best intentions for both you and them and your future together. So we'll be covering all of that in extended. If you want to go deeper, you definitely can follow me there. I love you guys so much. Please like the video. As always, comment and let me know what resonated for you. I love to read your comments. And subscribe to the channel if you're new here. We would love to have you join the family. I love you, Sag, and I will see you guys very soon in the next one. I think the next reading I may want to do it live. So we'll see how that goes, all right? Love you guys and see you again. And see some of you guys in extended. All right, bye.